Hey y'all, welcome to It's Not My Fault the OASG podcast is not popular. Still, after 27 episodes. As always, I'm Helen.
I'm Justin. Wow, 27 episodes already, huh?
We've made it longer than most anime series have.
Yes! Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. So how you been, Helen?
Let's see. I've been watching a lot of things. Like, I saw the Kentucky Derby yesterday and Guardians of the Galaxy 2 today. And I had to sit through 25 minutes of previews for Guardians of the Galaxy.
So I ended up, leaving my house at, 12:26 for a 12:45, start movie in 4DX. And the movie probably didn't start till 1 something. I was there by in plenty of time. So yeah, I avoided most
same
of the
here.
previews.
My showing was at 10:30. I got there 10:25ish, and the movie didn't start till 11.
Yeah, these previews can get kind of crazy. That's cool. I didn't know you watched. I didn't realize you was gonna watch that.
Well, it's I'm going to be moving a couple weeks, and I've got other stuff going on weekends, and it's so I have tickets for this theater really close to my house. I'd better use them up while I still can.
Okay. Then a short discussion on that, I guess.
Guardians of the Galaxy 2. That was long.
Yeah, it was definitely long. But I found it fun.
I thought the best jokes were the ones where the characters are clearly trying to compensate for, this is such a terrible situation, I need to crack jokes so I don't just totally have a breakdown right here and now.
Yeah, pretty much. Literally every time. Even that there was climactic point where they had the Avengers style, yeah, we're really ready, and then poor Mantis.
You're so messed up. Yeah, look at who my dad is.
Yeah, that was funny. I don't know if it's better than the first. I will have to think about that one. I don't want to be the prisoner of the moment. Oh yeah, it's really great. Because there were some points where it was funny. And I guess it avoided kind of referencing most these Marvel movies. They like to reference other stuff that happened in prior movies and everything. But I feel this mostly avoided that.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of people talking about how a lot of the humor in the movie is pop culture based. But honestly, the only one I can even remember from that is the Mary Poppins joke, which was just hilarious.
Oh yeah, that was... It's Peter's just yeah, I'm just gonna roll with it. This is not the time to worry about it.
I'm trying to remember, is Marvel owned by Disney or a part of Disney?
I believe they are. Disney bought them, so...
Yeah, I'm wondering, since Disney's working on, I think, a second Mary Poppins film right now.
Oh, I did not know that.
According to Lin-Manuel Miranda's Twitter, since apparently he's in it. So.
Oh, okay. There you go. I had no idea.
So I both thought it was funny, and I was like, is that, subtle marketing? Or am I reading too much into this?
You might be reading too much into that. You might. I had no idea Pac-Man was going to be a major plot point in this movie.
You mentioned Pac-Man at one point early on, and so when it popped up again, I was not surprised.
I mean, yeah, you can mention it once, but it's I thought it would just be one of those things you throw away, pop culture things you just throw in there.
Chekhov's gun. Chekhov's Pac-Man.
Yeah.
Chekhov's pop culture reference.
But yeah, I thought that was a nice, fun. I watched. Did you watch? You watched it in 3D?
No, because I already wear glasses, so I'm not wearing glasses on top of my glasses.
You gotta get used to doing that.
No, I refuse to do glasses on top of glasses.
I used to be like you. I used to be like
class.
you because I remember the first time I watched the 3D movie and I took off my glasses to put on the 3D glasses, and it was a horrible experience.
No, you don't
bad.
understand. My eyesight is so bad, I cannot do anything without my glasses.
Yeah,
on.
that's why.
And contacts are just painful.
That's why you have to get used to putting the glasses on your glasses.
Or how about no?
Okay, fine. Well,
the only time I will put up with glasses over glasses is if I'm in some sort of science class that requires them, and even then it's a pain.
Or you get paid for it?
No, not in class. In class,
no,
you pay the school.
No. I'm saying if you get paid to put glasses on top of your glasses, would you do it?
I guess then. But I'm trying to figure out what kind of situation that would be.
Okay, other than that, what else have you been up to?
Reading. Free Comic Book Day was yesterday, and got some free things I haven't looked at yet. I really like my local comic book store in DC. They're called Phantom Comics, and they were really packed yesterday since they're such a cool place. Everyone wants to go there. And I was just realizing there's a lot of really good comics out there right now, and I'm not just talking about manga. There's just a lot of really cool comics. And my library does get some of them, but I really wish I had a ton of disposable income to just buy everything.
Yeah, I went to Comic Book Day last year, and I wanted to go this year, but I had to work. And in the afternoon, too, so I was like, and the thing is, I had worked Friday, so I was like, yeah, I don't feel like having to get up early enough to then go to a comic book store and try out free comics and then go to work from where I'm at.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure my store was open from like 10 a.m. to 9 p.m., so...
Yeah, I had to work till like 11. So yeah, it sucks. But no, like if you went to Free Comic Book Day, I always enjoy. That's a cool. I believe it's a cool experience. Everybody should go to that. If you have one in the area, just go. Obviously, go next year. But just go if you can.
Yeah, I remember when I was in college, I would try to make it out to the comic book store vaguely in the same town that my college was in. It was pretty hard to get to on public transportation. And it was always just so lame. They had a whole bunch of tabletop things and some comic things, but they wouldn't have, like, any manga. Like, the only manga they stocked at all was just, like, the Sailor Moon volumes, which were new at the time coming out, and it was really depressing. So it's nice to have a store here, which is, like, we've got manga, and we've also got fiction and fantasy and sci-fi. It feels very inviting.
It's very good. That's very good.
Have you been doing anything aside from working and working?
Yeah, sorry, work is work. What can I tell you? I'm a little bit behind on anime again.
Oh, right, we're supposed to talk about anime. Oh, right.
I don't know why, I just keep getting so behind. Well, okay, I'm not quite that behind, and I'm gonna try to catch up tonight. But, okay, but I did watch 2 movies, which... My first suspect, I was thinking, I was just talking about Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 by myself, but it turns out you watch it too, so, that's great. The next movie that I'm going to talk about, you did watch, and I already knew that, and that would be Your Name.
And after you finished it, you did apologize to me for getting so annoyed that I was possibly going to have to put in spoilers in my review.
Yes.
I'm not sure why you apologized, but you did.
Very much an apology. No, because, like... My first thought was, as somebody that does reviews occasionally, you would think that you'd be able to write a review, like, obviously that doesn't spoil anything, but that you can write it to the best of your ability. Like, reviews maybe something, but not everything. But the twist in that movie was basically like, okay.
You can see how I wanted to talk about, character development after the big reveal in the movie. But I managed to write something about spoilers, so... Yeah. Maybe at some point on the show we'll just do a spoiler cast on Your Name, although I don't think we're doing that this week. Don't think we have time for it.
Yeah, you're at the actually planning on doing a spoiler cast for that, I guess. But yeah, I guess, like, just not non-spoilerly thoughts. It was awesome. It was, like, that big twist was, like... I mean, leading up to it was pretty nice. But then the twist that happened was... I have to admit, it was kind of unexpected, even though... Like, I remember, like, the at the start of the movie that happened... And yes, I'm being very vague about the start of the movie. But, yeah, I didn't think much on that until that moment happened.
I actually started yelling at the Taiku podcast since they did a spoiler cast on... I'm pretty sure it was a Taiku podcast. They did a spoiler cast on Your Name recently, and I was telling them, guys, if you look at something and think, oh, that's blah, 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 your next thought should be, oh, E. So, yeah. You guys apparently all need a basic lesson in astronomy.
I think there was, like, maybe... Well, and I listened to another podcast about that. Did you have any problem with the romance aspect of the movie?
I mean, it's a Shinkai film. I expect romance out of the dude.
Well, I think like one podcast I was listening to didn't like think it was feasible, like it was possible for the two of them to actually kind of fall in love with each other.
Dude, teenage hormones are apparently a really strange thing, so I would believe it.
Yeah, it was. I found that a little weird, and I personally, to me, I thought the movie like explained it like maybe a bit too fast because it had like that montage, I guess, in the middle of, or not really in the middle, but they had that montage. Yes, and with the opening music, with the music playing by it. But they showed that, and I thought it was enough, considering it is a movie. You can't like, obviously can't go through everything they go through in that time.
Yeah, and Mitsuha and Taki, I mean, they were living each other's lives. They had a pretty intimate knowledge of how the other person acted, what kind of character they were. So, I mean, they were forming connections that way through all the body switching.
Yeah.
And it looks like they were doing it for maybe a month or more. So, you know, like, that much time with each other, I mean, it's not like, oh, this only happened once or twice, we're totally in love already.
Yeah, that's basically my thought on that, too.
I've had to suspend my disbelief for far more strange romances, so...
Right. But really my only problem with the anime, which I guess we'll have to elaborate on it if we ever do a spoiler cast for it, was the ending. Or like the last, I would say 12, 15 minutes of it. And that's mostly...
My theater started groaning, like one person yelled out, "No!" at one point. And then at a later point, like half the theater was just groaning, going, "Come on, get on with it."
Yeah. Literally, I just start like it felt too short, honestly. Either you don't have it at all, or like it feels like there's, I don't know, it just felt like something was missing from that part. I don't know why. It just felt that way to me.
And I really like the soundtrack to the movie. I'm really considering getting it at digitally, that is.
Okay, so you're gonna listen to Radwimps, their nice opening song, right?
I was thinking the whole soundtrack, actually. It's up on Spotify, so I've been listening to it. I don't like the dubbed songs very much, so I'll probably just go for the version that only has the Japanese songs on it to save myself a couple bucks.
I should point out, I watched the sub version of it.
Yeah, we both saw subs, I think, so.
Yeah. I did hear, like, in another podcast that somebody watched both. And there were some good aspects, and then there was one that was really bad.
And it's funny, there's a joke in the film about Mitsuha and Taki's body getting the pronouns wrong, since longtime anime viewers probably know there's a couple different pronouns to say I, like watashi, boku, aure. And some people were like, oh, it won't translate well, but I thought it actually translated fairly well in the subs. I felt like the subs handled that pretty well, especially combined with the other characters' reactions on screen for like, dude, do you really mean to say that kind of eye?
Yeah.
And it was just kind of comedic the way she's just trying out different things until they give her a normal response again.
Yeah. But, was Your Name just supposed to air for April, or?
I don't know, since it's a limited release, but it's a pretty wide limited release. I'm not sure how long it's staying in theaters. It might honestly be up to the theaters with how well the showings are doing or not.
Yeah, I guess.
It sounds like it's doing pretty well for the kind of release it's gotten, which is great. And there's now a release date in Japan for the Blu-ray, which means that then the foreign Blu-rays can go forward, since you can't put out the Blu-ray before Japan puts out the Blu-ray.
Yeah, pretty much. So, yeah.
The executives would just have, like, kittens.
So, yeah. Wait, why kittens?
That's the phrase, Justin.
Oh, boy. You know I'm not very good at this phrasing thing and stuff like that.
This is why Justin does not write many reviews.
Anyways, if Your Name's in your area, just go watch it. It's really good. It's not better than 5 centimeters per second, but it's really good.
Your theater, your name, your date. Ish. Well, I'll think of a better one.
Yeah. See, look at your phrasing right there. All right, let's get to some news. How about that?
Yeah.
We actually didn't get that many news this past couple weeks, which is good, actually.
Yeah, and compared to usual, there wasn't as many bombshell announcements. Not as much licensing going on. I think the biggest thing that we had happen is that there's going to be an actual Code Geass sequel. And they've been doing things in the Code Geass franchise for a few years now, but those have all been like prequels or set during the main series. But this is a straight-up sequel, and it looks like Lelouch is straight-up not dead, which definitely contradicts some stuff the creators were saying years and years ago.
By the way, if you... Just letting you know, listeners, yeah, we are kind of spoiling Code Geass.
Oh, come on. Justin, I'm pretty sure the second season of that aired when I was, like, still in high school,
yeah,
for God's
2006,
sake.
yeah. It's still...
So that's like 10 years, that's 11 years,
Yeah.
Justin. Like, the moratorium on spoilers ends after the 10-year mark. This is pretty clearly established.
Wait, I thought it was 5.
Which would make my case even stronger.
But yeah, so as Helen personally knows, I'm going to reveal it now. I was very apprehensive actually watching the trailer.
The trailer looks kind of bad too. It kind of really nails the not so great art of the mid 2000s.
That and then, well, I mean, it had some jovial aspects to it, but then you have the obviously, oh yeah, we're
well, it's got
fighting.
some really boring crowd scenes where it doesn't feel like the composition is filled out enough. There's no direction to the color design or the framing. It just looks very blah.
Yeah, I will say it is early. I have no idea when this is coming out, actually, so I don't know how early this is. But I don't think it's coming out soon-ish, right?
I don't know, but this franchise always takes forever to produce anything in it, so...
Yeah, like, I think they had, like, the Akito, the Exile stuff. Has that even been, like, legally licensed or anything? I think it has, right?
I'm not sure it's even finished.
Do a sequel to the franchise and don't finish all the other stuff. Okay, it makes perfect sense. I mean, Yu-Gi-Oh gets this right. Like, why can't you guys?
Because not everything can be the same quality as children's animation, Justin.
Okay, that is true. But yeah, from a personal standpoint, like, yeah, I loved Code Geass when I, like, growing up. Like, when I watched it, like, it aired on Adult Swim. It had the nice combo of, like, going side by side with Death Note at the time. And I think I was, what, 16? I was probably, I can't remember, but some 16 or 19-year-old, probably 16 or 18. 16 and 18-year-old me was, like, very much enjoying this back-to-back thing. And Code Geass at the time was super amazing to me. I have no idea how if I ever watch it again, which I do want to do at some point, and I guess I have to if I'm going to watch season 3. I just want to know, like, how do I feel about it now? Because I know, like, there's some nonsense that happens in Code Geass that is, like, what? Why?
It's all nonsense. Like, I enjoyed the first season, but, like, halfway through the second season, you're building up all these plots and you're not resolving the other plots. This is like multiple train wrecks.
Plots on top of plots. That's how you use
It was more
story.
like train wrecks on top of train wrecks, I seem to recall the fandom talking about. Like, it's so edgelord. I am not surprised it aired alongside of Death Note. That would have been the perfect combination for Toonami to do.
But look, well, okay, back then Toonami was like this own thing.
Toonami, Adult Swim. Oh, no, it must have been Adult Swim, because I remember trying to tape it for a friend.
Yeah. It was basically like Adult Swim was its own thing, Toonami was this other thing. They didn't merge until like that April, what was it, 2000... Yeah, Toonami's been around for a while. 2000... Or the new Toonami, I think 2011, 2012, something like that.
2012, yeah.
I feel like that's when they came back again.
I was just remembering when it aired on Adult Swim for the first time, I tried to tape the first episode for a friend to watch, and I tried to tape it onto a DVD, and I mostly managed to get it to work, and she said she'd been watching it, and her brother walked in right as, like, Lelouch orders everybody to kill themselves, and he was like, "This is so awesome!" And he must have been, like, 8th grade or so, since we were in high school. So.
Yeah, you never... I'm pretty sure at the time, like, I've seen some, like, not that many mature stuff or anything, like, kind of crazy like that before, because, you know, you're watching mostly kid stuff. Most stuff is, like, they're geared to, like, kids and stuff like that. So when I see that, I'm just like, what? What is this nonsense? I just want more of it.
I think my brother might have had the same reaction, which is funny, since he's really not into the violence and gore stuff usually, but... Code Geass, it was engineered to make teenagers go, "This is awesome." Look at me, Mom, staying up past my bedtime for the edgy cartoons.
Even on the weekend?
1 a.m. is pretty darn late, Justin. For those of us who don't work night jobs like you.
I mean, at the time, I was just a high school kid. Okay, not judging anybody on how long they stood up on the weekend as a kid.
Oh, you were totally judging me. I can feel it.
Yeah. I'm not. I'm obviously gonna watch season 3, but I still don't know how I feel about it. Really, I really don't. I don't know if I really want any more. Like as you mentioned, like. I mean, this theory of is Lelouch dead or not has been raging, I feel like, forever.
It's not even a theory. I could swear to God that they have an interview with the creators who say conclusively he is dead.
Like, yeah, but, like, fandom is fandom. Like, even if I'm pretty, you're probably right. I'm pretty sure you're right. But, like, even then, like, I'm pretty sure there have been fans that are still wondering that, or still thinking that Lelouch was the cart driver. Mm-hmm. It's like, why else is CCB there? But yeah, so yeah, all I know is that the trailer's out. I don't think there's a release date for this yet, but we'll probably find out eventually.
We'll just see if we can get Momo to review it on the site when it comes out.
Yeah. I guess moving on to some other news, Discotek, which we actually don't talk about a lot on the podcast. I think that's mostly because, like, most of the stuff they license might not be of interest or a bit too old, or I don't know. But
it's just older than a lot of stuff I've watched.
Yeah.
The Anime Nostalgia podcast covers a lot of their titles pretty often.
Yeah, but like, if they did make some announcements, I'm like, yeah, we should actually talk about, or at least mention, like, yes, they've been licensing some stuff too. So they recently, I guess, they licensed Nightwalker, licensed the Wizard of Oz, I should be in order, Wizard of Oz, and A Journey Through Fairyland, which are both, like, they're animated by Japanese studios. Like, yes, back in the day, I guess they don't do this as much anymore, but, like, back in the 80s, or even before that, actually, have a bunch of, like, book and novel adaptations and stuff like that.
I think a lot of those were part of the World Masterpiece Theater production, I guess. Mm-hmm. I've never really looked into that much, but I do know about them.
Yeah. So yeah, that kind of happened a bunch in Japan back in those days. So licensed those. Discotek licensed those. Licensed Nutcracker Fantasy, which made me think of this. If you can look of it, made me think of what was it? What was it called? The Fukons or something like that. What was it called?
The Fukons or something?
I
think I know what you're talking about, and I don't think there's a way to say it in English without swearing.
Mostly, I was gonna say, like, this is just like you just cursed right there.
Oh, I'm aware of it.
Apple, I'm sorry, we didn't mean it.
Just tag it as explicit.
But like, yeah, that's kind of what it reminds me of. But I guess the big thing that they announced was Marmalade Boy, which I guess that's the more notable title that they licensed, apparently.
Yeah, Tokyo Pop licensed the anime back in the day, since Tokyo Pop occasionally licensed anime, and so a lot of people are going, hooray, I can finally throw out these crappy old sets.
Well, you want to keep them for, like, well, if you're a collector, you want to keep them.
No. And here in my collection is my pride and joy, the absolutely crappy DVDs put out by Tokyo Pop when they had no idea what they were doing.
Yeah. But yeah, that's a big title. I feel like did the manga come over here too? I feel like the manga came over here as well. I don't know why.
If it did, it was probably also a Tokyo Pop title.
Yeah. But that's really like when I think of Marmalade Boy, that's the only reason why I was thinking about it. But yeah, I think these are all coming out in August, so if you're looking forward to just like looking at anime classics and stuff like that, go check these out.
Mm-hmm. Discotek picks up a lot of classic shows, which is pretty nice.
Yeah. So yeah, you should totally check out their catalog. Like, I think I got some of the Lupin stuff too. Lupin the Third stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go to them.
And then for more current shows, I'd actually noticed this the other day. I've got Amazon Prime Video right now, and I've got it on an app on my phone, and I noticed you had the option to download episodes. And apparently this is pretty new. Amazon is now allowing you to download episodes to your phone, much the same way Netflix does. And Crunchyroll is also going to be doing the same thing later this year, which is pretty great since There's a lot of times when I am stuck underground on the metro with no cell service. Not that I want to stream video anyway, and it'd be pretty cool if I could actually just pull out anime on my phone. And then be too ashamed to watch anime on my phone and quietly put it back away.
Depends on what anime you watch, though.
I don't know, Justin, is there any anime you'd watch? You'd want to watch it and you wouldn't feel ashamed of?
My Hero Academia. Well, yeah, My Hero Academia to an extent. I
mean, maybe Chi's Sweet Home I wouldn't feel ashamed to watch on my phone, but...
Bunny Drop. Maybe not Ghost in the Shell. Maybe Ghost in the Shell.
Dude, do you remember how much titties that thing has?
Okay. Oh, no, not the movie. I think the TV shows are... okay, maybe not Ghost in the Shell. I think the point is there are some animes you can actually watch on the train. Or you can just be like, I don't give a crap what you guys think. I want to watch my anime anyways.
I guess, but I also know, as a long-time public transportation rider, that even though we are all pretending not to eavesdrop on each other and see what everyone else is watching and reading, we're all totally doing it, so...
Nosy!
Especially when it's rush hour, and they're running fewer trains, or it's on fire, and so everyone else is extra crammed into the trains, and you have no personal space. Although maybe your metro catches fire less often than mine, so...
I don't know. My trains are not. I don't have to go that far, so I don't have to worry about that. So my train station is better than yours. Not by much, but it is. Anyway,
if yours doesn't catch on fire, you're doing better.
Okay. I feel this is. Yeah, you said that they've had this before, but I guess nobody knew about it, or they just decided to make it public.
I only
now.
noticed it in the past 2 weeks,
okay.
so not a long time ago.
Okay, yeah, maybe they've just implemented it mostly now. I find this is big news. Like literally, like every time, I've been following anime legally and stuff like that. The one big thing that people bring up, I want to download it and take it with me and all that good stuff. And just to let you know, I hear that you can't actually, you can download it, but I think if you still have to have the service. So if you don't have the service, you can't.
And you watch it through the app, yeah.
Yeah, so you can't keep it forever. I mean, it's not like you can't own it, etc. or whatever. But this is a pretty significant step because no other service offers that at the moment.
Well, Netflix does.
Do they do it for anime?
Yep, I checked.
Okay. Then
for some of their anime titles anyway, the ones I've checked, like Hunter x Hunter.
Okay. But
yeah, so it's download to watch offline, not download home. Okay.
Which I still think is pretty decent because that alone might be able to be okay, maybe I can actually consider getting Amazon Prime and maybe getting an Anime Strike account on top of that. As you mentioned, the big thing is also you said that Crunchyroll was also going to implement it sometime this year, which it was interesting. I read the Polygon article about that, and I guess Polygon asked them about that, and Crunchyroll was like, yeah, we're going to implement it at the end of the year. Is this just retaliation, or were they legitimately going to implement it? Because this is literally the first I've heard of it.
I mean, considering how complicated that must be, I would imagine this isn't we'll do it too thing. Except Crunchyroll did lay off all of its engineers. Yeah,
that's the thing. They did the layoffs and stuff like that, so I'm like, you sure you're going to do this, right? No takebacks. I'm going to hold you to it. But yeah, I found this big news, significant news for me personally. And then I guess at this point we have to see just how well it actually works. Have you been able to download? You say you haven't downloaded anything, right?
Not Anime Strike, no. I've done it on Netflix, so I'm assuming it's going to be similar. And on Netflix, it's worked perfectly fine, especially since I have a pretty fast internet connection at home, so it doesn't take long for me to download anything.
Okay. Alright, so yeah, if it's even remotely competent, and then if Crunchyroll does it, they have to make sure a good selection of their titles are actually available to download. Because I'm going to imagine, or hope, that Amazon has all the titles that I don't think they have that many titles. You can actually download all the anime they have in the catalog right now. So, yeah, that's going to be interesting, that's for sure. Okay, I think that's enough for any anime-related news. Let's move on to some reading. That's right, I'm going to call it reading news because we have to actually read and do stuff like that for manga and light novels.
This reminds me of the time that Reading England complained that the Red Data Girl anime stole their hashtag on Twitter.
Wait, what's that?
There was this one time an anime came out a couple of years ago called Red Data Girl, and the hashtag for it was the same hashtag this little town in England called Reading had used for one of the projects, and so they complained about it in their newspaper. It was just so weird. Yeah. They were just so happy about it.
That was hilarious. I still remember that. That's hilarious. That was hilarious.
I like it when our news is hilarious.
Yeah. So okay, these are all right. So J Novel. I mean, it's obviously too late now because by the time this podcast comes out, it's going to end. Like, they had this running promotion where you somehow had the power this whole week. I think from May 1st to May 8th, you had the power to read 10 ongoing series this whole week that had multiple volumes of their light novels.
Shoot, I totally forgot to do that. I was so busy.
See? There you go. Like, they gave you a spring code and everything to sign up. Just make sure... I mean, it's obviously too late now. I hope you manage to sign off the service so you don't get charged at the end of the week.
Yep, the trick is, guys, if you sign up for a service and you want to sign off first, mark it on your calendar the day before so you remember to unsubscribe.
Yes. And then, on that same day, they announced a license. If it's for my daughter, I'd even defeat a demon lord.
I can understand the sentiment. Yeah, you're supposed to defeat the demon lord if your children are at risk. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. That actually is a good title. The only problem was the Twitter account made the fatal mistake. I don't know if it might still be up there, but I don't know if it was deleted. I don't think it was deleted or not. But Twitter account made the fatal mistake of comparing it to Bunny Drop. So
well, the replies were really funny. People were like, "Yeah, it's totally like that four-volume manga series Bunny Drop. It's so cute and sweet."
Yeah, if it's like that, then sure. But the original tweet didn't make it clear.
No. Well, everyone was joking in the comments. Everyone's like, "Yeah, Bunny Drop. That was only over 4 volumes. It was so good. We never had that time skip or anything."
Yeah. Oh man, that was actually kind of hilarious.
At some point we're going to be far enough off in the future that people won't know about Bunny Drop as much and they won't understand why we're joking about this.
More like they'll know about the greatness of, like, volumes 1 to 4 and the anime and not find out what happens after that. Like, we'll go to... Like, if
they'll watch the anime and they'll start reading the manga and they'll be like, "Dear God, why did nobody warn me about this?"
It's like you go to the store. Like, go to your Kinokuniya or your, like, Barnes & Noble. You only see volumes 1 to 4 of Bunny Drop. And they'd be like, "Oh, wait, that's it? Are you sure there isn't more?" Bookstore tells you, "Yeah, that's it." You sure about that? No, really. Trust me. That is it. Okay, maybe volumes 4 through 6. Okay, we're done with that. They also announced they licensed Invaders of the Rokujouma.
What the heck is a Rokujouma?
I don't know.
Okay.
I got the press releases and everything, but obviously I don't remember. But I do remember it is interesting though for this title. There obviously 1 through 3 are free, and so is 23 if I'm not mistaken. Actually, I may want to pull it up now.
Wait, volume 23?
Yes, volume. Yes, it's.
No, I am not getting involved in a 23 volume series.
Yes, it's very. I'm gonna pull it up just to make sure I get this completely correct, because there's a bit of significance for this title. Volumes 1 through 3 should be free on this site, so you can read it right now, even without the subscription, for free. And then the first half of Volume 23 is available. Okay, Volume 20 is available for J Novel Club members. So you have to be a member to read that. But the reason I believe I think they even said it in the press release. The reason they made it free is because I believe they hired a fan translator to actually do the title. Like, they actually, like, the actual translator of the series, who fan translated for years and years, he's doing the translation for J Novel. That was super interesting. I'm like, wait, what? Huh? I don't think I think I'm gonna assume this is the first time I've ever seen it on a press release where a company actually admitted that.
Yeah, because I was going to say, plenty of manga translators and stuff have done scanlations in the past. It's getting a little less common now, but that's not like what you announced in the press release. That's just people admitting, you know, oh, I got into this because I was working on this, and then I saw a chance to do it professionally, and...
Yeah. So, like, the only thing is this is getting, like, professionally edited. Like, it has a professional editor on it. But otherwise...
Editors are good.
Yeah, editors are good. So, yeah, it's getting a retranslation in certain parts. But, like, I don't know, I feel like that's interesting to me. Like, that's like, huh. I wouldn't have expected that. I guess because I'm going to assume it's a known, like, title. And this did get an anime a couple of years ago.
Wait, it did?
Yeah, it did. Yeah, Invaders, yeah. It got an anime. Or had an anime. So, maybe it had a following. It might have had a following, so I guess that's why. But still, I find it pretty significant. And then the last announcement, this is a mix of light novel and manga. Cross Infinite World, they're like a shoujo josei publisher. Or they look for like web stuff, web novels or web manga and stuff like that are made in Japan, and they publish them for the most part. And they announced they licensed Akaoni, Contract with a Vampire, I Became the Secretary of a Hero, and Yusen Ruten, that's Yusen Ruten is the manga. And all these are coming in summer. Akaoni is coming first in July, I believe.
Can you imagine if you got sucked into an isekai story and you weren't even the hero? You just had to become a secretary.
Yeah,
to
that's
the
gotta
hero?
be that better be the most well-paying job. Period. Like,
I'm stuck in this foreign world and I'm not even doing anything cool. You better pay me well.
Like what is, like, why?
I'm assuming that's not actually the premise, but I was just thinking, isekai stories are such the rage right now.
Well, I can totally pull it up and be like, oh yeah, I actually am gonna be that person and pull it up and be like, wait, is this secretary actually really like the hero, the secretary of a hero? Is this true?
Plot twist: she is the hero too. She's a hero and her own secretary.
I thought I had it. Where did I do with it? Like I said later.
Technical difficulties. Please hold.
Never mind. I'm pretty sure I deleted it. Okay. Not very savvy with my web skills today. But yeah, they announced that. I don't know. Like the secretary of the hero, the secretary of a hero sounds pretty interesting to me. That's probably it. I don't know if I'm gonna do it vampires right now.
Yeah, I was never a really big vampire person, so...
Okay. And then, I'm gonna move this up a little bit, just so we can, like, go into straight discussion for the rest of the podcast. News of the odd variety. So last time we did the podcast, we talked about an odd little... Okay, it's not really little, but... Well, I mean, an alien baby is little. And it's being breastfed by what? Okay, fine. I'll get back on topic so we don't like just derail everything. So yeah, now there's a new horse racing manga. Remember you say you watched the Kentucky Derby this weekend, didn't you?
Yeah, my family has had horses in the past. Stable's currently in shambles, so we're trying to rebuild it. So it's only being inhabited by goats by now. But yeah. Yeah,
and that means that, you gotta have a jockey and a horse, and they gotta have the camaraderie and everything so they can actually race. And this has...
Well, kind of. I've heard that the most accurate description of thoroughbreds is anxious walking couches, so...
Well, how about we take out the horse and replace it with a centaur?
So we have an anxious walking human couch?
I think that's what we have. Our Derby by Masahiko Sasaki. That's a new title that I imagine services will pick up in the near future.
Yeah, I think I saw like some clips from it, and people were describing it as if Deku and Bakugo from My Hero Academia had to team up in a horse racing manga, and Bakugo is the centaur who keeps bullying the jockey.
What?
So it's ripe for fan fiction and doujinshi.
Oh, Seven Seas, don't bring it over. Take it back. I take that back. Don't do it. It will be a mistake. Use your monster money. Use your Monster Girl money elsewhere. Even though I've been told that it's other stuff that gives them the money, but still.
Well, it's not like the Monster Boys, Monster Girl stuff doesn't give them money.
I mean, obviously, yeah, that's true. But I will be completely accurate and say that other stuff also gives them their money. So yeah, that was the only news of variety, at least that I picked up this week. There wasn't even that much. There wasn't that much news in general, so I guess there wouldn't be that much odd news as well.
Honestly, that one's odd enough. I think that compensates.
Yeah, true. Only manga, guys. Only manga. So I think we have like a few things to discuss.
Yeah, did you manage to finish ACCA? Since I remember I really liked the series, but you were more lukewarm on it.
Okay. I did finish ACCA. But we'll get to that. That'll be the main spoiler cast. There was this one topic that I had gone through this week, and I kind of wanted to like just discuss it a little bit. It was by if you go to I'll provide a link in the description from the thoughts.move.com site, where the author talked about media, the overabundance of media, and it was something that kind of like, for the most part, maybe hit home with me a little bit. Obviously, as like even like starting from like 2000 and what was it, 2001 and 2002, somewhere around there. Like I began getting like review copies from companies and stuff like that. It feels like from then to like now, it's completely different. like now, like we get like all this like manga from Yen Press, or just make requests to Viz and stuff like that. But then in addition to that, you still have stuff that's on Crunchyroll, you have stuff that's on Funimation, Netflix, etc., and that's just anime related. You still have like other stuff like TV show, regular TV stuff on your TV shows. And then, like, I guess for me, it's like I also watch sports, so I would say it can get a bit overwhelming, but at the same time, you just have to find a balance. I think that's, I mean, I kind of struggle with that at times, but the big thing is you can't stress about it. I think that's the thing.
Yeah, I've seen some outside pop culture reviewers say that we're in a golden age of TV right now, and I feel like I've also seen more and more young adult fiction getting published over the past couple of years. It feels like the amount of media we have access to in the English-speaking world in America, et cetera, is honestly growing on all fronts, not simply the overwhelming choices we have for anime and manga right now.
Yeah.
And like this whole season, I'm still not quite sure what my set watching list is for spring season now. There's still shows I want to try out that I haven't had a chance to get to yet, but like I've learned to just not freak out over how much there is to watch. If I want to watch something, watch it. If I don't want to watch something, don't watch it. And I know the article that we were both looking at talked a lot about being overwhelmed by choices, and I was like, that sounds familiar. That sounds like when I had depression and I wasn't doing anything about it. So,
right.
So yeah, I mean, it's just, even for the two of us, who definitely spend a lot of time thinking and writing about anime and manga, it's not our entire lives. You can't let that be your entire life. You know, and sometimes if you are feeling overwhelmed for what should I do, maybe you should do something else. Hang out with a friend, cook, go for a walk. I know they're all cliche things, but hey, those are all three really cool things to do, so.
True story, like I was always supposed to read some manga this past week. But I didn't feel like I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna play Fire Emblem Heroes and not feel guilty about it.
Yeah, I really love that my library now lets me renew things up to 10 times now, which is really helpful when I've got a lot of manga to read, and I'm like, I don't quite have time to get into it.
So yeah, like, just the big thing is, like, you can't, like obviously there's a lot to consume, but you have to remember you're not being completely forced to consume it. You just take your time with it. Yeah, life is short or whatever, but, like, you only live how you live. And
it's entertainment.
Yeah,
I mean,
and that too.
No matter what kind of entertainment it is for you, you know, escapist or forcing you to confront things, it's still entertainment. It's higher up on the Maslow's hierarchy of necessities. It's not the bottom rung of things.
Yeah. And then I guess, like, if you, like, the only thing I would suggest or just say, like, make sure you, like, if you, like, want to be disciplined, I try to stay different. I try to stay disciplined. Have certain days where you watch a certain medium. It may work for some people. It may work for others though. So, like, have one day be your anime day, other day be your manga. It's up to you. All you have to do is just obviously deal with what you like. That's one. If you don't really like what you're liking, then just that's it. It is what it is. Just focus your attention on other things. But personally, the piece was good, to me at least. But that was
I only skimmed it since I only saw it just before we started recording.
You're not supposed to reveal that.
Why not? and like I indicated there, this is something I've been thinking about for years, since I've always had, that eternal struggle between stuff I want to do and stuff I have time to do. So, I mean, this is all stuff I've been thinking of for, God, like 6 years at least now.
Yeah. But I think, like, this year, I don't know why, but this year, and I guess it's mostly since, like, video games, like, I've heard people talk about this, like, like, it's only May, but the year, like, they all might have, like, 15, like, maybe 15 game in the years already.
Yeah, it sounds like this particular spring has also been really big for games. And also, Justin, it sounds like you're just working more these days than you used to. So.
That too. You just,
Well, for me, that hasn't really changed as much in the past couple of years, and so I've also always been a big proponent of reading on your public transportation.
Yeah, or like just listening to your podcast, or just reading.
Or downloading anime from Amazon and watching that.
Yeah, or doing that. Just make sure you deal with the public fixation on anime girls or anime boys. Especially anime pretty boys.
Maybe don't watch your monster girls on the bus.
Oh yeah, I would probably recommend that. I would recommend that. And now let's get to that big discussion that I think has been in the books for like a good month.
ACCA, otherwise known as the world's most laid-back military coup ever.
Yes.
Well, semi-military. I don't know. I don't think ACCA's actually military. They're kind of
it's kind of military. I mean,
like one-third military, 2/3 bureaucracy organization that goes.
I would say it's enough of military.
Our current king is about to die, and his heir wants to disband us. We need a plan.
Yeah.
We need a plan.
So yes, I think you're way more into this than I am. So you please explain to the audience what ACCA is all about.
Well, like I said, there's a coup, but that happens later on. The story focuses mostly on Gene, who's probably around 30 or so. He works at ACCA. He's constantly trying to transfer out of his department. They never let him. And so he goes around and he does audits of everyone's budgets and things. And in the first episode, we hear that his department is about to be shut down. So it's like, well, great. And he goes off and he does an audit he was scheduled to do anyway and uncovers some corruption. And then suddenly, no, we're going to keep the department. Also, you've got to audit all 13 of the countries within our country twice a year. So you have to do like an insane number of audits to get going. And so then he spends the rest of the series bouncing around from place to place, from a Vegas type area to something that looks kind of colonial to like Hawaii, basically. There's a lot of really varied places in the series. And as we're going along, there's all these rumors of a coup. Before anything is said and done, there's rumors of a coup, and there's rumors that Gene is the person everyone's supposed to be rallying around, which he's rather confused about. And then if you're an astute viewer, you'll start noticing a couple things that go, wait, Gene might actually be the person who's supposed to be rallying about for this coup, and here's why.
Spoilers! Spoilers!
That better be the alert for we're going to talk about spoilers after this, because I did not say a spoiler there.
No, if you start mentioning... Well, just throwing it out there in case you're listening. This is a...
I am mentioning that the characters who go, we should form a coup around this guy, have a reason. They did not pick Gene out of a random lineup or anything.
Okay, continue.
Wait, should I do the spoiler now?
Yes, please, if you want.
Okay, the spoiler is that he is actually probably the most legitimate heir to the kingdom that there is, actually, by order of birth. And he and his younger sister actually had no idea they were royalty, since their royal mother and commoner father passed away a number of years ago.
In a train accident,
They're dealing with that, and they're also dealing with the fact that one of Gene's closest friends has actually been kind of stalking them for years and years, keeping an eye on them and sending pictures back to their grandfather, to the king.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's pretty much one of the twists, I guess you can say, in these series. I guess
It's a very character-focused, kind of introspective series. So like I said, it's about a military coup, but it is so laid back, this show. Like, they spend more time talking about bread, probably, than they do about lines
They talk
of
about
secession.
bread, pastry, and smoking more than probably the entire, like, the most of the plot line.
Except that the smoking is vaguely plot related.
Yeah,
but yeah.
I'm gonna. Yeah, it does turn out to be plot related, but I'm like, yeah, okay. So yeah, they basically go through that, and then they actually do the coup. They actually do it, and it turns out to be a little bit of a fake in that as well.
It's a velvet coup in a way.
I meant to get that guy's name. The basically the guy whose coup was exposed or failed, I would say. Basically, he his
The guy from the place whose name I think is actually honestly probably supposed to be Flower, not Flower.
Yes,
like they do in
that
the show.
should be it. Yeah.
I looked at that and I went, "Is this a classic case of the Japanese using L's and R's interchangeably?"
Yeah, I have no idea, but yeah, he thought he was gonna outsmart everybody, and as it turned out, no.
His conniving was way too obvious.
Yeah.
Everyone saw through it.
Yeah. I will admit that I will say this: the last couple episodes of the show were pretty good.
Once the show gets going, around the halfway point, it gets very nicely focused together, much more tense when Gene's aware of the role he's playing.
Yeah.
And the first couple are just very quiet. It's a show based off of a manga by Natsume Ono, and I've seen House of Five Leaves, and I've read Not Simple, so I've seen a few of her other works. And she definitely prefers a mostly slow, laid-back story with intense moments, but it's not high drama.
And
high
lots of
stakes
exposition.
throughout. I didn't notice an excessive amount of exposition here, except the first episode. The first episode, oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that was bad.
Like, I remember I watched it, like, early in the year, because I did watch the first episode, and I kind of meant to watch more, but, like, the first episode was, like, okay, this is, like, it looks pretty, but I'm just, like, does any of this even matter at this point in time?
I'm pretty sure if you had some awesome editing skills, you could go back into that episode and pull out things of me saying both that the uniforms looked kind of fascist, which I now in hindsight think was just accidental, and just how much exposition was in this first episode. Because they're like, okay, we have a country, it's made out of 13 different countries, and they all have slightly different organizations of government underneath one sort of loosely inspired
just to
big government. Let's explain everything. It's like,
just to make sure, it's districts, correct? Or that's just like the...
I think they used both districts and countries.
Yeah, because I feel like that, and one of the takeaways for me for ACCA was the highlight of the districts. There are obviously, you mentioned earlier, 13 different districts. They're distinctly different.
Honestly, it kind of reminded me of the United States in a way.
Yeah, it is set in a weirdest part, like, it's set, like, in a weird, like, made-up New York, in a sense.
I mean, not just visually, but the idea that there is this constant conflict between an overarching federal government versus a much more individual district or state-level governments, which have to adhere to some laws. But then you see some, like, I think it was Suetsu, which had the real, all the requirements and everything remain very historical, unchanged, which definitely felt like some of the U.S. states kind of chafing and going, well, we're going to do our own thing.
Yeah, like...
And there was actually a couple of different countries within ACCA, which just reminded me of the U.S. Like, we've got the Southwest, we've got Vegas, we've got Hawaii, we've got New York. Like
Panetta, which is the underground district.
Yeah, that reminded me of, like, the Southwest, yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, that was most interesting to me. Like, and, like, there was this one moment where Gene had entered, and I can't remember the district. I think it was around episode 4 or something like that. He entered the district, and there was these people that hovered over him just remarking at what he was doing because they had never seen it before, or it's rare that they even seen it in their district.
The historical one. I think that was Suetsu?
I think it was one of those places. It was,
that was the one with the coup within the coup, right?
Basically, yeah, I guess, like, where Gene ended up stumbling onto those guys.
Took a different coup.
Yeah, he took some pictures. He wanted to send them to his sister. Oh, no, sorry, you're going to come with us. This is too sacred. You can't, no. Please don't.
And his sister is going, what's up with Gene? Normally he would have sent me the photos by now.
Yeah. That was funny. Yeah, as you mentioned, this is very laid back. Like, how you want to know how laid back it is? Oh, we're gonna abduct the second princess, Lade. Was it? I think it's Lada, right?
Lota, yeah.
Lota. Oh yeah, we're gonna abduct
Jean's sister.
Yeah, we're gonna abduct the second princess, and we're gonna tell her we're gonna eradicate her. And oh yeah, hey, I work for ACCA. I'm just gonna roll up to your car and put my elbow on your seat and be like, oh hey, I recognize you too. Let's talk some business and stuff like that. Just right in the middle of traffic. Like what?
Well, you remember who that ACCA person was who did that, right?
I can't.
That was Abed. That was the person who's been keeping an eye on the family for even longer.
Right. Okay.
He was totally trying to just like mess with everybody right there.
Yeah. But like the situation, like you would think it'd be super serious, and it was super serious. But like, just a casual, like it was literally just a casual thing.
Well, this is not the kind of show to end something with like a firefight. This is the kind of thing to apply like soft power onto each other. But I know what you're doing, and if you don't stop doing it, then it's going to get ugly. I'm giving you a chance to stand down and stop kidnapping people. Yeah,
to me, I feel like it works in its favor, but then also for against it. I think there are probably a few moments where I'm like, okay, this is maybe a bit too laid back, to me at least.
No joke, at some point I thought like the bakery owners were going to pull off the coup or something since this show spent so much time in the bakeries. I was like, is this a plot
I think
point
that's
at this
just
point?
like... So yeah, I actually was wondering about that too, because like, maybe I was like thinking of overanalyzing it like that, but like, is the bread that are selected like important?
It is symbolically important at some points, you know, being open to new breads from new districts versus sticking with the breads from your district, sticking with your district's pride. That is symbolism at some points, but not the whole time.
Right. I guess
like when the prince isn't interested in leaving Doha, the capital, and trying out breads from other places. That is definitely a metaphor.
Yeah, I guess I meant like, and this is kind of when I say it's gonna be kind of silly. Like, wait, does this particular pastry have like some sort of code within it or something? like how much like bread and pastry are you gonna talk about?
I don't know, man. This is the other reason why I think this is based off America, because foreigners seem to think that Americans have white bread with every meal, which is not true. And they do make comments in the show. It's like, why do we keep having sandwiches? Because you keep buying bread from the bakery and bringing it home. We gotta eat it.
Yeah. I meant to like do like a look into like what anime had this kind of obsession with food, but I don't like think of a character like
I mean, there is food anime.
Yeah, like obviously food anime, but
Ristoroto, something also by Natsumi Ono, Yakita Japan, Food Wars, Antique Bakery.
I mean, obviously with this kind of bent to it, like obviously there's more to
Politics and Bread. This is probably the only one.
Yeah. So like, yeah, that was interesting.
Let them eat bread.
Mm-hmm.
Justin, not making historical reference.
Stop making historical references. I can't remember.
Get on my level of nerdery, Justin.
But I'm not that much. I'm not going to say it. Anyways,
you're not that much of a nerd. Says the person who's been marathoning the entire Case Closed series. Like,
okay, fine. I meant history. Okay. So yeah. What did you think? Like, I guess, like, what was the thing that I guess that got to you the most about the series?
I felt like the ending actually worked really well for the show. Going up to the last episode, it didn't seem like it was a really good way to get around the impending coup, and it just felt a little out of character if Jean had taken the throne, but it would have been bad if they had just simply let the current heir to the throne go as he was, since he was so arrogant, so not smart about how things worked, for lack of a better term.
Yeah, he seemed really, like, oblivious to, like, everything for the most part.
Yeah, oblivious is a good word.
Literally, like, the only thing he knew was that his aunt was pretty crazy.
Yeah, I mean, he's not dumb, but he just doesn't care. But I thought that the way the last episode handled everything fit in really well. I felt like it matched how the characters would act, what the characters would want to happen, and it even did manage to have Lotta and Jean have a chance to see their grandfather, the king, on a more regular basis. They did acknowledge very quietly that, okay, yeah, you two are royals. Oh, okay, go come see grandfather every now and then.
Yeah.
I thought it was a really satisfying, well thought out ending.
Yeah, the only thing...
And the show also fit pretty well into its 13 episodes, so it felt like the pacing was a pretty good match for the show.
I think it was 12 episodes, actually.
12 or 13, I don't remember off the top of my head.
Well, so you readers, everybody knows, I was supposed to watch this way earlier, so I did kind of just finish it, so. I think the only thing I didn't like about the ending was the redemption. I get a little bit of the aunt. Because remember, I think, like, we don't talk, like, there's not that much, like, crazy, like, violence in this show. Like, pretty much the only, like, few moments of, like, actual, like, violence is when the coup within the coup took place. That was like around episode 4, and then when Nino ended up getting shot. And
probably the best looking scene in the show.
Yeah, and that too.
The show just like it had a lot of outsourced episodes, according to the Sakuga blog, and it had some really nicely storyboarded and framed sequences, but it wasn't consistent throughout, and I do wish it had been more consistent with that, since the designs are kind of plain, a little weird looking, the show's a little stilted, but if it had wonderful framing, then it would have been truly great to look at, even despite all those things.
Yeah, like there was this one, like, I wish I should be more like, more into like how it looks and stuff like that. Like there's some stuff that I don't completely notice. But there's this one obvious moment, like, in the show where I'm like, why does this look so awkward? Why is there no eyes in this scene? Like, what is up with that?
That was probably one of the outsourced episodes.
Yeah, like, it was so obvious. I mean, aside from those parts, the show did look great. The show did look pretty good. I guess my misgivings is it does feel like it takes a lot of time. Like, I do feel like it talks a little bit too much in certain cases where you can, like, either describe or actually, like, just show or quote unquote show the action or whatever. And in certain cases, the laid backness works to its disadvantage. Like, I guess weirdly enough, the assassination thing, or the one involving Rail and Lotta
and Rail, who's another member of ACCA.
Yeah, he's in a different branch of ACCA. He mentioned, like, he was basically put in that level because of money and connections. So he kind of has a thing against rich people.
He's like, I hate rich people. We're not actually rich.
Yeah.
Sorry, we just found out we're royalty and we're actually rich.
Like, the craziest thing is, like, that scene happens, and literally it feels so chill. But, like, okay, there are people literally going to try to kill this girl. And literally everything feels like it's happening slowly. And not in the good way slowly. Really slowly. Like, I'm pretty sure they can catch up to you by now. Like, they were ready.
Well, remember, they did have an extended chase scene. There was some tension there, and the two of them were doing everything they could to outwit the second princesses, or the first princesses, I forget who's pursuers. And also, I think I got the impression that Rail's jurisdiction of ACCA that he works in, I got the impression that they actually do work kind of more like a police. So he probably is used to tense situations with, like, arsonists from the early episodes.
Right. But yeah, like I said, some moments work, some don't, to me at least.
And like you said, I think I enjoyed the show more than you did, so.
Like, if they... Yeah, like... The last, like, I would say the last 3 episodes were good. Were great. They were pretty good. I guess it's the thing is you have to wonder, is this work... Like, if I were recommending to somebody, how would you tell them, like this show is a super slow burn. Can you deal with, like, super slow burns, and then it'll be rewarding at the end?
I mean, I would tell them it is literally the world's chillest coup and spends half its time talking about bread.
Yeah.
And I'm really interested to read the manga, since Yen Press is bringing it out. I'm interested if there's anything that had to be cut, or anything that's expanded on the manga, and how the tone and the pacing works. I'm interested to see how it was different since manga's got different restrictions on it than anime, you know?
Yeah.
Indefinite time to do it, different pacing, all that jazz.
And Ono's art.
Yeah, except I think her art's kind of ugly.
It's okay.
I mean, she's got the big noses, and I get the impression she likes TheOASG, and I'm just... Old people are not my thing. Just ain't.
I mean, it's different.
I just don't think old people are attractive. I'm sorry.
Well, yeah, that's... Well, I mean, they aren't supposed to be. Are they?
Well, an Oyaji otaku thinks that old people are hot. Like the girl in Princess Jellyfish.
Oh, right. Well, okay, she's like one of a million. Okay, we'll go with that.
I think Natsumi Ono might be one of those.
Oh, boy. Oh, no. I still wonder about Gene's character to an extent. Like, I feel like he does...
When did he figure out what he was royalty? Yeah, there's a couple things that are left a little unknown about him, even at the end.
Yeah, and then I feel like it's so weird. Like, I feel like I'm wondering if he actually like he might have changed, but I feel like I didn't really notice him changing at any point. Like, he was literally the same person as he was at the end.
I felt like he was changing a little bit. He seemed a little more willing to take charge by the end. But yeah, that's one of the things I'm going to be curious to see if there's more of in the manga. Do we have a release date on the manga, or is it just kind of general late 2017?
I don't think a date for that came out yet. Or it might have, but when I checked, it didn't come out. So my guess, it will be somewhere in the fall. That's my guess. I don't think it'll come... Well, fall might be too close. Well, if it's November, that'll be close enough, I guess.
I'll just put down my reviewer dibs sooner or later.
Well, you never know. You might have to fight for it.
Okay, Crystalina and I will have a fight. Since I'm challenging her, I'll let her choose the weapons.
Ouch.
Then. Okay.
All right, that...
No, that's how you do duels. That's how you do duels.
That didn't... I didn't anticipate you actually bring out weapons.
I mean, she might choose, like, pillows. It might be a pillow fight.
Okay.
Or it might be a food fight. You know, that'd be very appropriate for the series.
Okay, food we can do. Just don't strip. Or strip your opponent.
No.
Please don't.
Justin, if this thing is coming out in the fall, this means we're going to be fighting over reviewer dibs in the fall, and it's going to be too darn cold to strip. Justin, you're so impractical about all of this.
So, I'm just going to say ACCA is actually good. I don't know if it's, like, great to me, but it is good. I can give it that. It looks good. It sounds pretty okay. And the last couple episodes are really good. It kind of, in a way, reminds me of Suritama to an extent, where, for me, like, Suritama was, like, it had some obviously interesting moments, but, like, for, like, 1 to, like, 6 or 7, it was just, like, what is... Why am I
like a slow beginning and then a really strong end, yeah.
And then, after that, I was just, like...
Except Suritama had a better opening song. That was a good
opening
song.
That opening song was majestic. It was majestic. So yeah, that's kind of what ACCA reminds me of. But if you can deal with its slow pace and its dialogue, then you can probably this is worth the watch.
And I'm not sure if it's still streaming anywhere. I know the physical license just expired, but if anyone liked this, I'd recommend you check out the other animated work from Natsumi Ono, or one of them anyway, called House of Five Leaves, which has a similar pace, and it's set in feudal era Japan, maybe Edo era, with a wandering samurai and a bunch of thieves, and they're thieves with morals, so. And
is
like one really awesomely animated fight scene.
So they're like the Ravagers?
I'm not even going to dignify that response. Because you just implied that somebody in Guardians of the Galaxy has morals. I mean, Justin, we need to have a long talk after this podcast.
But Groot has some morals.
Did you say Groot or
Groot? He has some morals.
Questionable. This is questionable.
All right. So before Helen kills me out after you end the panel,
I'm only going to give you a
after the podcast. So yeah, I guess that's going to be a wrap for this podcast. My name is Justin. You can find me on Twitter at Kami_Nomi.
And you can find me on Twitter with all of my opinions, good and bad, at Wandering Dreamer.
Please remember to, check us out on iTunes, review us, and in a late-breaking news, and hopefully before this comes out Friday, you should be able to listen to this podcast on YouTube. Because, I gotta...
Wait, really?
Yes, I'm gonna eventually... I gotta use the YouTube account at some point, and
We have a YouTube account?
We do. I just don't make videos for it. Guess what?
Oh, right, I kind of remember you doing some videos before.
Guess what? I am going to try to make videos for it.
Okay, then.
So yeah, by the time this podcast ends, this should already, by the time podcast goes up, there should be some up already. It just takes a while to, actually, produce it and stuff like that, because long loading times.
Have fun making more work for yourself, Justin.
Well, no, I already did, I'm only putting up from this year, so just from 2017.
Okay.
And then this one will probably be up a little bit later before that on YouTube, but it'll be up. So yeah, go listen to us on YouTube. So yeah, YouTube, iTunes, and it should be on Android. So yeah, go listen. We like listeners, honestly.
If you're already listening to this, please keep listening.
Yes, and we thank you for listening.
If you're not listening to this, but you are listening to this, I am now very confused.
Yeah, and I'm also very I'm very confused too. Anyways, I'm gonna go...
Schrodinger's listener.
I'm going to go, do something productive like eat, because eating is very good and healthy.
Let's eat bread, Justin. Let's go out. Let's end this and go eat toast.
Yeah, you know what? Maybe I should make some toast with whatever was for dinner. In honor of ACCA.
Yeah. Until next time, guys. Bye.
Bye, guys.